Welcome back to Effortless Marketing, the show where we strip away the jargon and turn complex marketing ideas into practical tips you can use today. I'm your host, Hailey Hodge, and as always, I'm thrilled you're here, whether you're tuning in from your cozy home office, on your morning commute, or maybe squeezing in some inspiration during a lunch break. This is our second to last episode in our Marketing 101 mini-series. It's been a pleasure to break down these core marketing concepts for you. If you have enjoyed this series, please leave us a review with feedback so we can continue to bring you more inspiring business content. Today, we're diving into a topic that sits at the very heart of every successful business: ethics in digital marketing. We'll explore how trust is built or broken online, the rules that protect both businesses and buyers, and how you can empower your customers while staying on the right side of the law. Whether you're a solo entrepreneur or leading a small but mighty team, understanding these principles will help you navigate the marketing landscape with confidence. Let's start with something we've all encountered: deceptive practices online. There's a term for one of the most common tactics: sugging, or selling under the guise of something else. Maybe you've seen glowing reviews on a product page, only to later discover they weren't written by real customers, but by employees or paid promoters. Or perhaps you've received a survey that claimed to be for market research, but was really a thinly veiled sales pitch. Sugging isn't just a matter of bending the rules. Even if the claims being made are technically true, misrepresenting your intentions chips away at the foundation of trust you're building with your audience. And trust drives everything online. Studies show that more than 60% of shoppers read reviews before making a purchase. So when those reviews are fake, or worse, when a company masquerades as a helpful third party, it doesn't just hurt the competition. It pollutes the entire digital ecosystem and makes every future interaction a little more suspect. So why do some businesses risk it? Sometimes the temptation to boost those 5-star ratings or generate quick leads outweighs the long-term consequences. But here's the reality. When customers find out they've been misled, they don't just stop buying. They tell their friends, leave negative feedback, and avoid your brand for good. In an age when word spreads faster than ever, a single deceptive tactic can have ripple effects for years. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever bought something online only to feel duped by misleading reviews or a sneaky sales tactic? It's deflating, right? That's why ethical marketing isn't just a legal obligation, it's a competitive advantage. When you're transparent, honest, and authentic, you stand out in a crowded market. In our next segment, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the laws that shape how we market online, from the CAN-SPAM Act to privacy regulations, and what they mean for your business. But first, a quick reminder. Ethical marketing isn't about doing the bare minimum to stay out of trouble. It's about building real, lasting relationships with your customers. Stay with me. We're just getting started. Let's dig into the legal side of digital marketing, because as much as we love creativity and connection, there's a rule book we all have to follow. And for small business owners, understanding these laws is just as important as knowing your target audience or crafting the perfect product description. First up, the CAN-SPAM Act. If you've ever hit unsubscribe on a marketing email, you can thank this law. The CAN-SPAM Act sets the ground rules for commercial emails and other digital communications. It requires marketers to get your consent before sending unsolicited messages and to honor opt-out requests promptly. That means no more spamming inboxes with irrelevant offers if you haven't built a relationship or gotten explicit permission. But it's not just about avoiding fines. Following these rules shows your audience you respect their space and time. That's the heart of permission marketing, the idea that you should only reach out to people who actually want to hear from you. In practice, this means getting a clear yes from your customers before adding them to your list. It's simple, but powerful. People who opt in are more likely to engage, buy, and stick around. Of course, consumers are savvy. Many use dump accounts, those secondary email addresses they hand out when they're not sure if they want to hear from you. It's a gentle reminder that while permission is crucial, relevance is king. If your content is valuable and respectful, you'll earn a spot in their primary inbox. Now, in the B2B world, things work a little differently. It's common to collect emails at networking events or trade shows with the understanding that you'll follow up. But even here, fax marketing is mostly avoided. Nobody wants to be bombarded with unsolicited messages, no matter the medium. And let's not forget, the legal landscape is always evolving. The FTC is considering new rules on how endorsements and sponsorships are disclosed online, making transparency even more important. So, why does all of this matter? Because staying ahead of legal requirements isn't just about avoiding penalties. It's about building credibility and trust. When your customers know you play by the rules, they're more willing to engage, share their information, and become loyal advocates for your business. Next up, we'll explore how to balance data collection with the privacy your customers expect, and what ethical marketing looks like in a world driven by information. Stick with me. Let's talk about something that's become the backbone of modern marketing: data. The more you know about your customers, their location, income, purchase history, the better you can tailor your messages and offers. But with great data comes great responsibility, and that's where privacy laws and ethics come into play. In the US, there's a patchwork of privacy laws that limit what data can be collected and how it's used. These rules are designed to protect consumers from companies that might misuse personal information. But if you look across the pond to the European Union, the regulations are even tougher. The EU's privacy laws put strong limitations on what kinds of data can be gathered, how long it can be kept, and who it can be shared with. If you have customers in Europe, you'll want to be extra careful to stay compliant. One key law in the US is the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, specifically aimed at financial institutions. It requires companies to be upfront about their privacy policies, what data they collect, how they use it, and who they share it with. Even if your business isn't a bank, it's worth taking a cue from this law. Transparency goes a long way in building customer trust. And here's an interesting twist. Even when there's no specific law requiring a privacy policy, the FTC can step in if you don't stick to your own stated practices. In other words, if you promise customers you'll protect their information, you'd better follow through. Sensitive data, like social security numbers or bank details, deserves the highest level of protection. A single slip can lead to identity theft and destroy your reputation overnight. That's why it's not just about checking a legal box. It's about implementing strong safeguards, from encryption to employee training. Privacy policies aren't just for consumers either. In B2B relationships, they're often backed by non-disclosure agreements to ensure that both sides know exactly how information will be handled. Ultimately, ethical data practices aren't just about compliance. They're about respect, transparency, and building a loyal customer base. People want to know their information is safe with you. When you're clear about what you collect and why, and you give users real control over their data, you empower them, and that empowerment translates directly into trust and loyalty. Coming up, we'll shift gears and look at another often overlooked aspect of ethical marketing: the promises we make, from warranties to those offhand comments in the sales process. Don't go anywhere. Let's turn our focus to a topic that sits right at the intersection of marketing, law, and customer trust: the promises you make. If you've ever had a customer come back with a complaint, or if you pride yourself on going above and beyond for your buyers, this segment is for you. At the heart of this topic is the concept of warranties. In the US, the Uniform Commercial Code, often called the UCC, spells out the rules for sales and warranties. If that sounds intimidating, don't worry. Here's what you need to know. Warranties are simply promises, either explicit or implied, about how your product or service will perform. There are two main types of warranties. First, we have expressed warranties. These are the promises you make in writing or out loud, like when your product description says, guaranteed to last 2 years, or a salesperson tells a customer, this software will cut your admin time in half. The key is that these statements are legally binding. If you say it, you're on the hook for it. Then there's the implied warranty. Even if you never say a word, the law assumes certain baseline promises. For example, when you sell a product, there's an implied expectation that it will do what similar products should do, that it's of average quality and fit for its intended use. This holds true unless you very clearly and conspicuously disclaim it, which is rare and usually not advisable for small businesses trying to build trust. Now, here's where things get interesting. Sometimes, the language in your marketing materials, or what your sales team says, might go further than what's in your official paperwork. Let's say your website says, we'll replace any defective item, no questions asked, but your sales contract has restrictive return terms. If there's a contradiction, the law often sides with the promises most favorable to the customer. So, it's crucial that everyone on your team, especially those interacting with customers, understands the commitments you're making. Clear, honest communication is your best friend here. Not only does it keep you compliant, but it also builds the kind of trust that leads to repeat business and glowing reviews. Let me give you a quick example. A small tech company once promised lifetime support in a marketing campaign, but buried in their terms was a clause limiting support to 2 years. When a customer challenged this, the company had to honor the broader promise and ended up revising their materials to match their true intentions. On the flip side, some of the most beloved brands are known for standing by their promises. Think of the outdoor gear company that replaces worn-out jackets, no questions asked. That kind of transparency and commitment pays off in loyalty and word-of-mouth marketing. In the end, every promise in your marketing, whether bold or humble, matters. Be clear, be consistent, and always make sure your team is on the same page. Next, we're going to talk about the digital threats out there, like bots and phishing, and what you can do to protect your business and your customers. Stay tuned. In today's digital-first world, marketing and sales don't just happen face-to-face. They happen everywhere, all the time, across countless platforms. And as your reach grows, so do the risks. Let's talk about some of the digital threats facing small business owners and the simple, effective ways you can defend your business and your customers. First up, bots. These aren't the friendly kind that help automate your marketing or customer service. We're talking about malicious bots, automated programs that can scoop up your limited edition products as soon as they drop, or exploit freebie offers meant for real customers. Imagine running a giveaway only to discover that half your winners are actually bots looking to resell your products. Not only does this waste your resources, but it can also frustrate genuine customers who miss out. One of the most effective tools against bots is CAPTCHA. You've probably encountered these yourself, the little puzzles that ask you to identify all the traffic lights in a set of photos or type in distorted letters. By requiring a task that only humans can perform, you block out most automated attacks. It's a small friction point, but it keeps your offers and sales safe for real people. Another major threat is phishing. These are scams where fraudsters pose as your business or another trusted entity to trick people into revealing sensitive information. They might send emails that look like they're from your support team, asking customers to verify their passwords or payment info. That's why it's essential to educate your customers. Make it clear how you'll communicate. Remind them you'll never ask for certain details via email, and always encourage them to double-check before clicking suspicious links. And don't forget about your own content. Your marketing materials, images, copy, videos are valuable assets. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act exists to help you protect these materials from online piracy, but prevention is always better than cure. Watermark your images, use secure platforms, and keep track of where your content is published. Finally, Make digital security a core value in your business. Train your team to spot threats, update your systems regularly, and stay informed about new risks. Even small steps, like using strong passwords and two-factor authentication, can make a big difference. In our final segment, we'll recap today's key points and talk about how you can put these lessons into action to foster trust and compliance in your marketing efforts. Don't miss it. Let's wrap up today's episode by connecting all the dots and giving you practical steps you can implement right away to build an ethical, trustworthy marketing strategy. First, a quick recap. We opened with the dangers of deceptive practices like sugging and fake online reviews, tactics that erode consumer trust and can damage your brand's reputation for years to come. Transparency and authenticity are not just buzzwords. They're the foundation of effective digital marketing. When customers feel they can trust you, they not only buy from you, but they also become advocates for your business. Next, we discussed the legal landscape. Laws like the Can-Spam Act and various privacy regulations set clear boundaries for how you can communicate with customers and what you can do with their data. For small businesses, staying compliant might seem daunting, but it's actually a competitive edge. It shows you respect your customers' time and privacy, which is a rare commodity these days. Data privacy is another pillar. Make sure your privacy policies are clear and accessible, and that you're actually following them. Protect sensitive information rigorously, and always be upfront about how you use and share data. When in doubt, lean toward more transparency, not less. We also explored the promises you make, whether written, spoken, or implied. Every product guarantee, return policy, and support promise counts. Your marketing needs to align with what you actually deliver. Consistency here not only keeps you out of legal hot water, but it also turns your customers into lifelong fans. Digital threats are real and growing. From bots scooping up your deals to phishing attempts targeting your customers, the risks are everywhere. Equip your business with simple defenses, CAPTCHA, strong passwords, secure platforms, and make sure your team knows what to look for. Educate your customers about how you'll communicate with them and how to stay safe. So, what actionable steps can you take this week? Start by auditing your marketing materials for honesty and clarity. Update your privacy policy and make sure it reflects your current practices. Implement basic security measures to protect your data and your customers. And finally, make ethics and compliance a part of your team's regular training. Now, if all of this sounds overwhelming, remember, you don't have to do it alone. This is where smart, intuitive tools come in, and that's exactly what Craftify AI delivers. With features designed to help you create honest, transparent content, stay compliant with privacy laws, and protect your digital assets, Craftify AI empowers you to market your business ethically and efficiently. Whether you're crafting emails, social posts, or customer policies, you get built-in guidance for best practices, so you can focus on growth, not legal headaches. Thank you for joining me today on Effortless Marketing. Next time, we'll dive into the art of building customer loyalty in the digital age, with even more actionable strategies you can use right away. Until then, remember, valuable marketing tips in the time it takes to sip your morning coffee.